So coming back to the carrots, right? Speed, performance, ease of use, and recognition. This is not meant to be an all-encompassing view of any of these, just a few examples of different things that can be looked at. So as an example, for a marketing team, what are some things we can do to make things faster for our marketing team? Well, first of all, how about workflow, right? How about the ability to generate content requests, to approve materials, publish materials into the CRM environment, all from a single login perspective within the CRM, within their CRM application? How about being able to create new campaigns and manage those campaigns moving forward? So again, pulling content that's already available, dropping it in, determining which areas we're going to send this out to, and then managing it through meaningful reports that allow us to track kind of cradle to grave what worked well, what content resonated where, who's following up, who's not, what are some of the reasons that might exist for that, and then developing that back to reports that we can show to demonstrate the value we bring to organization as marketing folks. On the sales side, performance. So sales reps, at the end of the day, it's a very tough job to be a sales rep, and motivations there are pretty straightforward for the vast majority of them. It's opportunity to make money. And so we've got to provide those folks with tools that are going to help them more effectively do their job. Again, identify opportunities, pursue opportunities, close opportunities. So starting at the beginning, what about if I'm a rep and I know that now there's more opportunities and the only place I can go to get them is within the system, that's a pretty clear no-brainer, right? So whether that is access to commercial lead lists, which I think we're less of a fan of than specific opportunity generation campaigns that produce real live opportunities in the system, that's meaningful. Those are all new things that get people excited, provided that we can demonstrate it's not noise, that there really is an opportunity to turn that opportunity into a closable sale. Access to more Sales 2.0, Web 2.0 technologies, whether that is social networking media or specific industry tool sets that we can provide consolidated access, so the sales, so their CRM environment, it really becomes more of a portal for them. There's a lot of value in that for the team. Sales tools, so whether that means access to more research that we can, again, consolidate in a centralized point, or whether that is the ability for the system to ask good questions based on the type of opportunity data we're entering in there and provide recommendations around the types of content that might be helpful. So tying back to that marketing team, I've got information, I've got marketing content, I've published it into my environment, and now I have a vehicle based on certain keywords to feed that to my sales team based on certain events. That's extremely meaningful to salespeople. For the executive team, so we talked about it before, meaningful reports. So we'll tie this together with integrated dashboards in our next slide, but that, at the end of the day, if we can get the executive team to understand that it's easier for them to come to a destination, their CRM environment, to pull their reports, it's going to take them less time. It's going to be easier on them than trying to articulate their specific needs to an admin to go do it themselves. That's a huge win for us, because then we've not just developed a happy user, we've developed a happy sponsor, and a sponsor in the right part of the organization. And there's lots of different ideas that we've had success with getting executives on board, including trying to develop through some web extensions, single system sign-on, so allowing the exec pretty much their portal for all the other things they need to do within the enterprise is through their CRM application. And the more touches they get, the more comfortable they get, the more confident they are with doing things on their own within the system. And lastly, developing integrated dashboards, going back to the notion of actionable data. So giving as an example, a sales executive a view that shows them the type of opportunities they might have, where they are from a quota perspective, revenue, the types of sales stages, and being able to, in one view, change what sales stage I want to see, what business units I want to look at, and have all this information change dynamically to give me a view of how I'm performing against quota, what my top opportunities are, how much they're worth, what business units they go in, when they might close, and also a sales indicator that shows what is going well or what might not be going well in that opportunity, and then being able to drill down directly into that to see specifically what's happening is an invaluable tool for an executive that wants to quickly track in 15 or 20 minutes, no phone calls necessary. I can get to everything I want to see in 15 or 20 minutes when what used to take me several meetings, lots of PowerPoint presentations and conversations. Next, in terms of recognition, there's a lot that can be done. Some examples here for customer service folks, putting together things, so just general acknowledgement, leaderboards that show performance, both generally published performance about how I'm doing against my peers, what areas I'm leading in, as well as providing spot bonuses to folks based on certain criteria that can be met and tracked through the CRM application. And usage-based incentives, again, something that will further incent behavior. If I know that I've asked people to make sure they're filling out certain fields and gathering certain information, it's very easy to track that. Something that we can feed back in the way of incentive-type information to HR or to a management team is a great way to get people more vested in the application. So I thought this was a funny quote from Gerald Ford. And to our point earlier, clearly it's great to have incentives, it's great to provide the carrots, but there is absolutely a need for sticks. There are some people that we will never be able to motivate into the system for whatever reason. And also there are times when a good incentive might just not be enough to get it done. So there's going to be some things that need to happen. Recommendations for things that moving kind of left to right from what I would call a bit of a gentle nudge over here on the communication side to a pretty hard-hitting hammer on the compensation side, there's lots of room and areas to start with a kind of a herding mechanism to start pushing people over. So as an example, communicating about the state of the business or state of opportunities through the CRM system. So that's the only place you can find things out. Removing, and it takes some work, but and actually, frankly, it takes work in lots of areas to get people to adhere to this, but moving some core communication off of standard email and into the CRM environment creates more of that portal feel, gets people in the right place on a regular basis anyhow, and pushes them towards the direction of using the system for a lot of other things. Access to resources. So if I need a pricing proposal, if I need access to an executive for a meeting, if I need to elevate a trouble ticket, making all of those things come through the system is, first of all, a great tool for driving adoption, but it also helps us vet a lot of information as managers, because I can't just do an ad hoc, let me stop by your desk and ask you for something. You're going to have to fill out your request, and the request is going to mandate that certain information is provided with it. And again, I'm not of the mind that everyone's going to have all the answers to the questions, and people aren't sometimes going to fudge things a little bit, but it's definitely going to drive behavior, and it's going to get people thinking about other areas that they weren't before. And lastly, as I mentioned, the biggest hammer outside of termination is compensation. It's extremely motivating for people when you change that, but it's difficult to initiate. It requires involvement from top management in different areas, including HR and sometimes legal, and it is oftentimes very difficult to administer when something doesn't go that way and you've got to tell a sales rep that you're not going to pay him $35,000 in commission that he thinks he earned. That's a difficult challenge for the organization. So that's why it's last. And at this point, I'm going to turn over the presentation to Hillary to spend a little bit of time talking you through the roadmap template that we've developed and we'll send out. So, Hillary?
Hello. Thank you. Did you give me...
Yeah, I think you should be all set.
Let me go ahead and show my... All right. As Tom mentioned, we have a template that we put together that we're going to send out to all of you that really goes through 3 different phases that we've used with customers to help boost user adoption. The 3 phases are define, and then diagnose, and then resolve.